Hey everyone, wooootles here, and in this video I'm going to take you on a short tour of my LEGO Backpackers Inn and Irish Pub, my second build in a standard modular building size. It's about 33 studs high, 3 floors and more than 3,300 pieces, and with a budget of around $300, it's a bit pricier than a typical LEGO modular set, mainly because of a more intricate facade and fully tiled interiors. Like the ramen restaurant, this was inspired from a vacation that I took back in 2019. No, I didn't go to Ireland, but instead I went to Singapore and stayed in a hostel. Since Wasabi District already has a 5-star hotel and a more mainstream hotel, I figured I needed a budget hotel for the price-conscious minifigs. And with that, let's go straight to the overview. Looking at the exterior dimensions of this build, it is a 32 by 32 corner lot, so its floor area is similar to about a third of the official LEGO modular sets out there. The building itself occupies a 25 by 25 space on the first floor, and the second and third floor is just a tad smaller at 24 by 24 studs. As you can see, the first floor is primarily the Irish pub. I did some research on what a typical Irish pub looks like, so I went with this window design, picked green awnings and dark green walls with tan accents. With the addition of the Irish flag, 4-leaf clover, and a stereotypically Irish name, there's no mistaking that this is very much an Irish pub. Interesting fact, with this build, as I said, was in 2019, so we didn't have dots back then. So these printed tiles were from Bricklink. I'm not really sure which set it came from, but they were really expensive at the time. So I think I paid $20 just to have O'Sullivan spelled out. Over on this side, there's a brick built facade, as you can see over here, made by 1x2 plates in different colors. This leads to the inn. And then obviously this brick built sign is for the Backpackers Inn. The facade on the second and third floor is done using simple snot techniques and a bunch of dark tan plates, as you can see. These were also a bit high priced 3 years ago, which is why I estimate this build to be around $300. So a little bit higher than your official LEGO 3-story modular sets. There's also a full interior, which I will detail later in the video. Another thing to note on the third floor, these arches are actually vehicle mudguards. And then up top, the roof design is very simple compared to my skyscraper builds. In my first rendition of the build, I actually had 6 air conditioning units. So I modded it a bit and cut the units down in half. Added some piping and plumbing, as well as a table and a couple of chairs. Other than that, just a really simple rooftop. The back sides are very simple. This side in particular is supposed to be covered by an adjacent building, so I didn't really focus on making it any special. And then down on this side you just have an exit door here and a couple of windows on each floor, so simple stuff. Here's the top view of the inside of the Irish pub. You can see I have a lot of brown here. I really tried to emulate a typical pub interior setting. The inside is kind of hard to see from this angle, so I have this wall which is easily removable. It's mainly for ease of interior photography. It's the same technique I used with the One Azur's wall. Looking inside from this angle, you can see I have a floor in black and dark red checkered pattern. I have bar stools in olive green, which is I think is a cool color. On this side I have a couple of booth seats, and maybe a little bit hard to see, but I do have pearl gold lamps up top, giving it a warm, cozy feel inside. Panning over on this side, you can see the bar itself. I just put a bunch of bottle pieces, glass pieces, brick-filled liquor bottles. I just put a bunch of stuff in there just to fill up the cabinet. And this door here leads to a very small kitchen area. Again, maybe a little bit hard to see, but it does have a grill on this side, and then on this side you have a small refrigerator here, a sink here, and a cabinet over here. All that in a 6x6 space, by the way. And then this entrance and these flights of stairs will lead to the second floor, which is the Backpackers Inn. Going up the stairs to the second floor, it will lead to the simple check-in counter over here. And the rest of the floor space is just communal space for the guests. You have a full kitchen here where the guests can actually cook their own food. Got a stove over here, a sink, a refrigerator, storage space up top, and on the other side there's a small dishwasher. This big bar has a cookie jar and some liquor. As you can see, I tried to make the seating space very colorful with red and blue bar stools and a bright green couch. So you see the splash of colors here. These were inspired directly from the hostel that I stayed at when I went to Singapore back in 2019. And lastly, you have the stairs here that will lead to the sleeping area. And here we are at the third floor. There are 6 beds total. So this is actually more like a bit of a capsule hotel, since there are individual pods for the guests. And they do have some decent amenities with a small light and a small TV screen in each pod. The middle area is the bathroom. As you can see, there's a couple of sinks on this side. And again, maybe a little bit tough to photograph, but on this side there's a shower and a toilet room. Since there needs to be room for up to 6 guests, I think it's important to have independent access to the bathroom amenities, the sink, the shower, and the toilet, which is why I've separated them as such. And then lastly, the stairs over here will lead to the rooftop, which is pretty simple like I showed you earlier in the video. So I'm going to put it together quickly. There you go. And here it is again in full with the ramen restaurant right next to it. I did a video of the ramen restaurant last month, so please check it out. When I designed these 2 buildings, I had always envisioned it being right next to each other. So even though I moved them in my layout, they're always going to be right next to each other. That's just how I designed these 2 buildings. It does create a bit of an international scene in my city with a Japanese ramen restaurant right next to an Irish pub. And if I really wanted to take that international theme a bit further, here's a Swiss chalet right next to them. It is important to note that, as I said in my Swiss chalet video, which I done 3 months ago, I haven't decided 100% whether this build is going to be in Wasabi District or not. That's why it's not sitting in the same base plate height as these 2. But I did want to show you how my Backpackers Inn / Irish pub looks like right next to my other 32 by 32 builds. Alright, that concludes the short overview. Let me know what your thoughts are about my build in the comments below. And subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my latest build overviews. Again, thanks for watching my video. Peace.